dreams to filter through this land of ours and fill a sportsman's dreams. Enjoy what nature holds for us, her bounty never ends. Getting back to basics with the practical sportsman. It's always an adventure, no matter where we go. From a favorite hunting spot to the hottest fishing hole. Outdoor life we all can share with family and friends. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman.
Hi there. Come on in Thursday night, November 28th, the year 2002. Of course, this is also Thanksgiving evening. I know you don't want to hear about eating right now, probably, but we do have a recipe coming up on this show because we're back in our regular fast-paced format.
That's right. We got our Fish and Game Hall of Fame from Eaton County this week. We got the Guides Report, Art of Taxidermy.
Oh, we have Functional Fitness. You have the Michigan Outdoor News. We have a lot of material to go through, so you stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost.
And I'm Zachary Trost.
You're watching The Practical Sportsman.
Dateline Lansing. Editor Bill Parker reports in a front-page story that the federal government audited the way the Michigan DNR uses hunting and fishing license money to support law enforcement activities, and the feds concluded that our DNR misspent $3.6 million. This audit came about because the federal government gives states what's called Pittman-Robertson and Dingell-Johnson funds. That's money that's collected from excise taxes on hunting and fishing equipment. These funds go for habitat restoration and improvement, and in order to receive this money, the federal government requires that hunting and fishing license fees be spent for hunting and fishing. The feds say that Michigan uses license money to fund snowmobile and ORV enforcement, among other things, that aren't strictly hunting and fishing activities. Well, as you'd expect, the DNR is appealing the ruling, but the state has already agreed to pay $1.7 million back. That's almost half the disputed amount. The final decision on the rest of the tax money will be reported in January. Dateline Cadillac. Linda Gallagher reports that Michigan hunter Maurice White from Cadillac took a moose that's possibly a new world record. He took the nearly 2,000-pound moose in a remote area of Siberia, about 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. It's the first time Maurice White has been moose hunting, and it was the first moose they got close to. The antler spread was 6 feet, and if it's not the biggest, it's one of the biggest moose taken anywhere in the world. Well, these stories and more are found in the Michigan Outdoor News, which comes out every 2 weeks with news and information for sportsmen.
Quite a few outdoor publications, including the Michigan Outdoor News, run a regular column supplied by the DNR called Conservation Officers on Patrol. Now, the purpose is to show COs as heroes who chase down crooked sportsmen. But as a defense attorney, I'm called on when the COs step out of line, and what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you about a couple of tickets here from this deer season. You be the judge of my version of what I call COs on Patrol, the rest of the story. Last Sunday, November 24th, a fellow who hadn't hunted in a while decided he was going to hunt late in the season with a buddy of his who lived up in the rifle zone. See, this guy lives in a rural area of southern Michigan in the shotgun zone. Now, he hadn't used his rifle in a number of years, and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, he took his .270 behind his house, and while he was setting up his target to see if his gun was still sighted in, a CO shows up, drives right onto his property, saw the rifle, and wrote this guy a ticket that said, "Hunt deer with rifle in shotgun zone." Now, does sighting in a rifle in southern Michigan on your own property during deer season automatically mean that you're hunting? Well, my 82-year-old client doesn't think so. He wants to take this ticket to the jury. Another hunter on Saturday the 16th of November was in a tree stand on state land where he had seen a lot of buck sign. Now, he had a doe permit for private land, which he was planning on using later in the season, but 2 hours after sunup, he saw a hunter kill an antlerless deer out a ways. The hunter walked up, looked at the deer, looked around to see if anybody was looking, and then boogied out of the area. Well, obviously, that guy didn't have a doe permit. Now, later, my client walked out to the parking area where he encountered a CO, and he told the CO that he saw somebody, shoot the deer, and told him the story. And he asked the CO that rather than letting that just lie there wasted, could he tag it with his private land antlerless tag that's good for another area? Well, the CO said, let's go down and take a look at it. The two of them field dressed the deer, drug it back to the parking lot where Officer Jekyll turned into Officer Hyde, confiscated the deer, wrote him a ticket for shooting a doe without a permit. Well, my client said, hey, I didn't shoot it. I just didn't want it to go to waste. The CO says, I don't believe you. Here's your ticket. Take it to court. Well, we will in both of these cases. See, I don't think sportsmen who follow traditional values deserve to be mistrusted in every case. I'll let you know the outcomes of these tickets in a future edition of Conservation Officers on Patrol, the rest of the story. So how's it been, Ray? Talk to
Real
me.
good. Yeah, they filled her up real nice for you.
For me?
Well, sure, yeah. Fred Trost buckpole, yeah.
Hey, this is Mill Creek buckpole.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my. Look at this. Man, these are huge. These are bigger than last year, I do believe.
Well, where did you get this big boy?
Chelsea.
Uh-huh.
Is that the one on the corner?
This one right here.
How many points is that?
Looks
10
like
points.
10, yeah.
Oh man. They look bigger than that down here.
Opening day, when did you get it?
I know. I didn't get opening day.
No?
I got that today.
Today.
I got an 8.2
See very many others?
opening morning.
Or-
Saw $5 opening morning, and I got.
And you were being choosy?
I took an 8 point, and this morning that was the only buck I saw, and I took that one.
Oh, you got an 8
This is the second.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I'm done for the year.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, I guess.
Thank you.
Your name?
Steve Smith.
Two Steves.
Steve Smith? From where?
Chelsea.
And Steve Hutchinson.
From Dexter.
From Dexter.
From Dexter, huh?
Yep.
Hometown boy.
Yep.
Boy, those are big tines.
Huge.
12-inch tines,
How big?
12-inch. Dressed out at 200.
Jeez.
Oh, holy cow.
One shot, one kill. Took him spinal cord. He dropped right where he stood.
Now, what day was this?
Opening morning, 8:30. We pulled this guy off same farm too.
That one's yours?
That's what Uncle Fred's there.
It doesn't matter how bad the deer season is up north, because there's always one place we can go to see big bucks. That's right here at the Buck Pole at Mill Creek Sports in Dexter. I've been coming down here for over a decade with the cameras, usually on the second night of the season. This year we came down on November 17th, Sunday night, and saw the usual array of huge farm-fed Southern Country bucks. Now, I hope a number of these hunters send us entry forms for their bucks, because it looks like we're going to be using a lot more southern Michigan racks this year on Big Buck Night. From our early indications, the northern two-thirds of the state hasn't produced as many big racks that meet our minimum criteria, at least compared with previous years. But you'll see them on Big Buck Night. Oh, very good. What do you got there?
This is buck I got opening morning. He scored 149. 14 pointer. 19-inch spread.
That's
Incredible mass on it.
no kidding. Is that the biggest one you've
What did
taken?
dress out?
Oh, it's one of the nicer ones I've taken.
You a farmer?
No. Just
You live
friends
on a
with a
farm?
lot of farmers.
I see.
Almost looked like they were brothers.
Yeah, they do have that same shape. Who got the big one?
I did.
And which one's the big one? The front one. See, that's the one with the width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that a 10 point?
10. Yep.
Wow. And what's yours, Chad?
8.5.
Man, that's great. You're hunting together in the same area, or
Yeah, same area. Yeah, right on our farm.
what do you farm?
Milk cows.
Really?
Yeah.
So you had to get the cow's milk before you came here tonight.
Well, the help did.
Non-typical antlers.
Yeah.
James Armour here from
Manchester, Michigan.
Manchester. Look at this thing.
Too cool.
Non-typical 12-point. Did you get that opening day? Or?
Yeah, opening day.
How long you been hunting, James? James or Jim?
2 years, James. 2 years. This is my second year. My first year.
First year.
Yep.
Now, you know, people say that that's not typical, that isn't all symmetrical. What do you think about it?
I think they're about right.
But I mean, is it cool or
Yeah. My grandpa says first one he's ever
You
seen
gonna
in his
have
life.
it mounted?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Gonna put it right up on the mantle
Oh, man, that is neat. That is a neat rack.
with a Lightfield 7 slug.
Eva Jean Thompson from Alpena sent us a recipe that is a unique venison barbecue sandwich recipe. Kathy Beitler, is it much different to put together from other sloppy Joe type
No,
deals?
really, the preparation isn't all that different. It's just got some different ingredients in it. Now, this is a roast that has been boiled, and then it should fall apart by itself. And just going to go ahead and pick it apart. And you just put it in the Dutch oven and just let it boil to its heart's content. And then after it's all picked apart, you're going to go ahead and put it back in the Dutch oven and add your ingredients. Got ketchup and horseradish and lemon juice and mustard and Worcestershire sauce and salt and sugar and some cornstarch for some thickening. And there's your secret ingredient.
Cabbage, huh?
Cabbage. Now it just gives it that little bit of different extra crunch to it, and it doesn't all cook right down.
Well, look at this menagerie of ingredients. Do most of the barbecue sloppy Joe recipes
No,
have that?
basically they don't have, well, they have mustard and ketchup. Don't have your horseradish and lemon juice and sugar. Well, a lot of them, the barbecue recipes will have sugar, but this one has lemon juice to kind of counteract that. And then just go ahead and put everything all together and let it cook down. And like I say, the cabbage, even though it cooks down, doesn't really get all just soggy. It stays really good and crunchy. Gives it that something extra in your sandwich. And then just let it cook.
Let it cook, and that's it? Put it on the buns?
Yep, put it on the buns.
Well,
Then thicken it at the very end with your cornstarch so that it does stay on the buns.
That cabbage, I wonder if Bob Garner is going to go for that ingredient.
That cabbage in there is incredible.
And it's not overpowering on the meat at all, like cooked cabbage usually is.
I'll bet you. I'm a sauerkraut nut anyway. I'll bet you if you substituted even the cabbage for sauerkraut, put sauerkraut in there, this is not.
You can put shredded newspaper in there and say, I'm a shredded newspaper.
No.
It really tastes great.
No. Sauerkraut. I like cabbage, but sauerkraut in here, hey, just give it a little zing,
It does.
Something that's been fermenting a little longer. And this is great. This is not sloppy Joe or plain old barbecue or manwich sandwich.
no.
This is really good stuff. Great twist on it.
Not to badmouth those sloppy joes and manwich
Well, I ate
sandwiches.
plenty of them. But I've never had a sandwich of that ilk as good as this. This is really good.
It is.
It's different.
You know, I could even use a little more cabbage in
Oh,
there.
yeah, I think so too.
I think it'd be good.
Absolutely.
And the cabbage makes it crunchy, all the better. You can hear it while you eat it. This week we're sticking near home for the Fish and Game Hall of Fame, the featured county being Eaton County, one of the 3 counties that touches the Lansing city limits. Eaton County's biggest town in Charlotte, and there's not really any big lakes to speak of, but if you remember a little farm pond several years ago, Gary Botek took Fred for some monster bluegill fishing. Well, we have a stringer mount of some of those big gills here on display at the museum, but Eaton County is really known for its monster bucks. Mark Van Dam from Lansing caught the one trophy fish entry we have a photo for in the recent years. It's a 33-inch channel catfish he caught at Lake Interstate. Our next featured county for the Fish and Game Hall of Fame will be out of Mecosta.
Basically what I've done here is I've carved out what I call a styrofoam rock, and I put it in place where I want it. And I take and add paper mache to the surface of it, and it gives me a nice gray based textured rock, and I can texture it or shape it however I want, paint it how I want it, make it look like a rock.
What is that you're digging in?
What's left of my paper mache.
Is this the same kind of paper mache we made when we were in school?
No, it's a little different. This is formulated for taxidermists. It has a variety of purposes. You don't want to make it too thin because you want it to have some strength. You want it to hold itself together.
What kind of rocks will these be? Do you make them so that like granite or?
Just depends on the mood I'm in, basically. This is just one way to make a rock. I've actually got rock molds where you can press in different materials and get different effects, because all rocks, as you know, are quite different. You know, if I was trying to be more exact about a specific kind of rock, I would make a mold of it and totally reproduce it.
And you paint them with an airbrush?
A little bit of airbrush, a little bit of stain, a little bit of combination. I mean, you're just making an artificial rock, and then just kind of play with it till you're happy with whatever floats your boat, really.
So this is a taxidermy isn't just arranging skins.
No. It's a whole lot of combination of all arts, actually. You know, it's 100 different ways to reach the end product, and I like to do this because I like to have my bases as light as possible. And they can be shaped, you can screen them, you can, and it's endless what you can do, but it's what's on top that matters, so that's all we really worry about.
If you can't negotiate an obstacle out in the woods, climb a fence, go underneath a tree, drag a deer, carry a bucket of fish back, that's functional fitness. You don't have that, you have no fitness level at all. The sled is an excellent tool. I can see right now this is going to be the wave of the future for our training, because there's no compression on the spine. So if you have a bad back or bad knees, joint, or a hip, you can do this because you're dragging the weight. Now you can drag it forward, backward, side to side, use the upper body. It is an amazing device. When you drag something, let's say a deer, okay, you're going to have a rope maybe around its antlers, around its neck. So you got to learn how to drag it. So you got to learn to lean back, watch where you're going, and pull back. Okay, being that this is a bear sled, this is real easy. You can load up one plate, next week load up another, keep loading it up till you get to that weight of approximately what that deer is going to weigh, which can be anywhere from 150 to 200 pounds.
Well, that's a big one.
That is a big one. It's good to be an optimist.
Well, what is the best way to drag? You were just using your arms?
Well, what I was doing, I was holding it static hold, okay, and gripping, leaning back, and I was pushing with my legs, okay? Now, if you train this, you shouldn't have any problems doing this out in the woods. Matter of fact, you're going to be more physically fit for just about anything.
Well, we just romped through our regular format here with lots of short features, hopefully lots of information for you folks. Next week, we're going to have 2 hours.
Biggest bucks from the state.
That's right. Big buck night coming your way. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. Well, that wraps it up for this week, Zach. Next week, we got a big job ahead.
Yep, the original Big Buck Night show from
Right.
PBS.
That's right. We'll see you then. Get outdoors if you can. It's a great place to be.
Thanks for the buck pull!
Thank you. Okay, got a hold of them?
That's it. Sit it down.
Thank you. All right, bud. Hold, guys. I'm sorry.
Check your driver's license.